Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is JV. I am currently based here in Mexico City. Today is Thursday, July the 27th, 2023. And the topic of today's video involves the events that are taking place in Capitol Hill with respect to the hearings regarding former military intelligence members discussing the very often invasion of unidentified flying objects that are hovering around military bases around the United States and across the world. And I think it's a perfect time for me to talk about my own experience with a UFO encounter that I had. This happened here in Mexico. It did not happen in Mexico City. It was actually in a place called Michoacan, which is a state located in the Central Valley, or in the Valley of Mexico. It's about, I'd say about 5 hours west driving distance from Mexico City. Might be 6 hours. And this event actually happened back in 1994. Back in 1994, I was actually a teenager. I was staying here in Mexico for a summer vacation. And we actually, it was actually myself and a couple of family members, cousins, and a couple of friends. I believe it was, in total, it was about 9 of us that were hanging out at the very top of a hill. It was in a small chapel. One of the things that characterizes Mexico is the fact that up and down the country, you see a lot of hills that are very high, mountains that are very high. And a lot of these mountains have chapels built on top of them, because as you know, Mexico is a very Catholic country. Catholicism is the number one religion, organized religion here in this country. And anyway, when we were in this small village, we actually climbed the mountain and got all the way to the top. And we actually hung out there for about, I'd say about a day. We actually stay overnight in this hill, and we would actually light up the place with a bonfire, and we would have some steak and some sandwiches and stuff, and we would just hang out. Well, on a bright afternoon, my cousins, my friends, and I, we were just standing there. And the town that we normally stay in actually has, it's actually like inside of a bowl. So it's surrounded by a lot of mountains. And on this occasion, we were actually facing east. And all of a sudden, we saw a metallic oval-shaped object that was hovering. It wasn't even hovering. It was basically anchored to the sky. It wasn't making any noise. It wasn't just, ovulating in the sky, moving around. It was basically just stationary in the sky. And we watched it for about 5 to 10 seconds, and we couldn't believe our eyes. I mean, everybody saw it there. It was, like I said, 8 or 9 of us that were standing there, and we couldn't understand what was going on. And then all of a sudden, after the 10 seconds, it disappeared. And then it reappeared about 50 yards to the right from our vantage point. We were actually watching it from our vantage point, and it reappeared about 50 yards to the right. And it stayed there stationary once again for about 5 to 10 seconds. Unfortunately, we didn't have, we actually didn't need any binoculars. We basically were able to see it with the naked eye because it was pretty clear. And after I'd say another 15 to 20 seconds, all of a sudden the object disappeared in thin air. Out of thin air, it just completely disappeared. It didn't leave any marks. It didn't leave any smoke. It didn't leave any traces of anything. Like you see, for example, up in the sky when you see the chemtrails that are left behind from the aircraft that is spraying all kinds of chemicals up in the air. Well, on this occasion, nothing was left behind. It just completely disappeared, and it was an absolute surreal experience for us. And unfortunately, I haven't really experienced any other event like this since. That was back in July of 1994, and it was an incredible experience. And I am not surprised that finally the US government or retired military agents are coming out and basically before Congress are giving out their testimony that these objects do exist. There's no question about it. Everybody around the world has seen them at some point, and it is an incredible sight to behold for sure. But I just wanted to give my encounter, my experience on this particular flying object. And like I said, I haven't come across any other UFO since that experience, but I can tell you for sure they are absolutely real. Where do they come from? Who the hell knows? Are they, transdimensional vehicles that are coming from the future? Are there human beings inside of those UFOs, of those objects that are maybe thousands, millions of years, into the future? We really don't know. But one thing's for sure, they are not from this dimension. They are not from this period of time. That I can tell you. And they are not vehicles from the Mexican military. Nobody in this planet, no government in this world actually has that capability or has that technology to be able to just completely disappear out of thin air and disappear and reappear in another vantage point without leaving a trace or without having a linear movement from point A to point B. But anyway, just wanted to give my experience. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.